Well, I think there are two of the most exciting things I've seen in squash in the last 20 years. The first is simply that there's a court here that's easy to set up and low cost. This is our first prototype for a modular court, whether it be indoor or outdoor. The company's called Access Courts. It's been a great partnership, but again, this is about making it simple, easy, low cost to set up squash courts, whether it be one or a bank of four. You can put them up for a day, you can put them up for a week, put them up for 10 years, doesn't matter. They won't depreciate, and just the fact that it's here is amazing. So we think that's a huge breakthrough for squash. The other is just being among all these other racket and paddle sports, just being part of the mainstream, but recognizing that we're all sort of cousin sports. We all play well together. We're relatable. You can go from one to the next, and just picking up expertise and learnings from these other sports, how they're marketing themselves, how they're seeing the market. So that's been really exciting for us as a sport as we sort of emerge. Now that we're in the Olympics, we're perceived to be more mainstream. Now it's about taking advantage of that to grow the sport. So for the US, we think the big market opportunity is public, middle, and high schools. So if we can get courts co-located, whether it be at a nearby facility, it could be in a shopping mall, it could be in a warehouse, or it can be right behind the school. But if we can have kids having access to the sport in that way, that's really the way the sport grows. And that's what we've seen over the last 10 years, but we want to see that really take off. The other part is just the flexibility of the idea of squash entrepreneurs can say, hey, I think I can make a business out of this. There's a market need here, and they can lease a space for a shorter period of time and try it out. You can put up a court for a 3 or 5 year lease, create programming, and if it's successful, great, you can expand. If not, then you have an asset that you can sell. And so it really lowers the risk for getting into the squash market and expanding the sport. So those are the two key areas that we see this benefiting the market. Well, pickleball has been the big story here in the US for the last 5 or 6 years. Massive growth, especially coming out of the pandemic. You know, it's easy to play, it's very social, that you can take over other spaces pretty much anywhere. So a lot of benefits to pickleball. However, it's also an easier to play sport than even paddle or tennis or squash. So a lot of people are coming into racket and paddle sports via pickleball and then trying paddle or trying squash if it's available. And so we see some facilities opening up that are paddle, pickleball, and squash. We want to see more of that. And again, there's a continuum, and some people may want to graduate up into sports that are a little bit harder to play, a little bit more physically demanding, which is great. Others sort of find their niche. And you also have people at different levels, so it's always fun to try a new activity and become, better at that activity. So people who are really good at squash, they might enjoy paddle more because it's new to them, but it leverages their squash skills. Some tennis players, same thing for paddle or tennis into squash, etc. So, and then pickleball is sort of more universal for everybody. So, you can find people starting out with pickleball or playing that with young kids and then starting to play tennis. So it works all sorts of directions, and there's sort of a place for all of these sports. Particularly in the US, there's very low awareness of what squash is. In the rest of the world, there's much higher level of awareness. So just increasing awareness because of being in the Olympics, sort of that halo effect, has started to be helpful. Also just the sense of legitimacy as a sport, that we belong. We're actually a real sport that competes at the highest level, has an amazing pro tour, and belongs on the Olympic stage. I think just that's helpful unto itself as well. And then what we started to find just in the last 4 to 6 months is the business opportunities that it's created. So you have more awareness, you have a sense of some validation externally outside of the sport, and now people are interested to say, hey, what does this mean commercially for us? How can we make money at it? Because that's an important part of investing in a sport. And so whether that be through the athletes whether that be through events or facilities or programming. All of that sort of rising tide is going to kind of lift all ships within the sport. So that's been exciting to sort of begin to feel that, and we see that sort of definitely leading into LA 28. And part of what we're doing at US Squash is working with the PSA and World Squash to make sure that we can continue that into 2032 and beyond, because we do feel like the sport deserves to be in the games in perpetuity.